Hey, good morning, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. How's everybody doing? We got the whole gang here. We've got TikTok on the phone. We've got everybody else over here. It's Sunday morning. It's 10:30 in the morning. I'm actually home. I was out for the past week overseeing a seminar at sea. Essentially, it was a corporation that came in and did their annual sales meeting for the first time on a cruise ship. And we all had a great time. It was a lot of fun. So I hope everybody's doing well. I see Sue is here. Becky Diabetic is here. Sue needs some heat in the house. She's looking for some good casserole recipes. I'm telling you, Rebecca has this amazing casserole recipe for a tuna casserole thing that's like really, really good. It's not your typical one.
You actually make the sauce. You don't use any kind of canned soup thing.
It's got the potato chips on top and all of that, Sue. So yes, do that. Bake some cookies. Have some fun. But how's everybody doing? I hope everybody's doing amazing out there. If you're new to the channel, I'm Walter, your independent travel agent, and we book cruises, land, luxury, and expedition. And I always like to throw that land in there. We're starting to get more and more requests for land tours too. You know, land vacation, either as a standalone vacation or maybe as part of a cruise, you know, before or after the cruise. So, and thank you for everybody's patience. The past week or so had been crazy. The end of the month is always crazy because everybody wants to book their cruises, you know, before the potential rate changes because, you know, essentially the cruise lines will reset their rates. Usually they'll take advantage of the first of the month to reset the rates. So we get a flurry of activity right at the end of the month with everybody like, oh my God, I got to hurry up and go ahead and book my cruise now. So thank you everybody for your patience this past week while Rebecca and I worked through a lot of booking to get through. Hey, good morning, Cheryl. How you doing? Good morning, everybody on TikTok. Good morning. Hey, Kurt's here. Bill, good morning, Bill. Bill, I will take another look at those staterooms. Actually, I'll just look at for the show. Why not? Who knows? Maybe they'll open up. Kurt, Norma's here. John, hey, hello from San Juan. I hope you're enjoying the Viva. Benny's here. Peggy's here. Big Bob, good morning, folks. How you doing? How you doing? Bob's got 6 days until the Icon. Rock on, man. You're going to have a great time. I think my two favorite finds on the Icon was the Aquadome Market, you know, that little food hall thing they got up there, and the Ryan Bean. It's just so well, perfectly situated. It's a coffee house. It's a bar. They make a beautiful espresso martinis, and you can sit and just look out over the overlook. Oh, it's like such a beautiful location. Those are my two favorite finds on the Icon. Also, I can say it on here. I'm excited. Stephanie said, go ahead. Stephanie Mullen and I are going on the inaugural sailing of the Star of the Seas. Now, the actual inaugural sailing, the 7-nighter. Royal Caribbean recently announced that they're going to sell 2 shorter previews before the inaugural, but Stephanie and I are going to be on in August. This will be the inaugural sailing of the Star of the Seas. It's going to be absolutely amazing. It's going to be insane. The Icon of the Seas was insane. I'm sure the Star is going to be even worse. So it's going to be absolutely crazy. Diabetic just booked the Star of the Seas before the February rate change. I mean, it's interesting, you know, with the Star Icon, we have seen the rates kind of sliding down a little bit just because, they were really expensive. They're still expensive to get on the Icon and the Star. I mean, it's we're spending more for this interior surfside than Rebecca and I do on most balconies for a 7-night cruise. But it is the Icon.
You did also come by it kind of a little on the late side.
Mm-hmm. And it's also the Icon is the inaugural. So the inaugural is always going to be a boost in price. And you know that going in, but you want to be first on the ship, you pay a little bit more. So Stephanie from Michelle and Steph channel and I will be on the inaugural. What is that, like August 21st?
31st.
August 31st. So if anybody is going to be on the Star of the Seas, August 31st that week, I know there's going to be a lot of vloggers on there, so that should be a lot of fun. We will be there as well. Stephanie and I are going to be there, so I cannot wait. So, hey, Kathy, 2/11 is your cruise day. So for everybody who is getting ready for a big Valentine's cruise on the Margaritaville Islander, I was on the Margaritaville Islander this past week. with that corporate group, and we finalized the schedule. So hopefully everybody who had booked with us on that cruise has a schedule now. Schedule subject to change. But I actually met with the captain. I met with the hotel director. The captain is so excited about this vow renewal. And we moved the venue. We were going to do it outside, but there was a lot of concern about being able to control the crowd, and plus the weather. Not only the rain, but also wind, because the ship will be moving at that point. So we have an indoor venue for it now. It's going to be beautiful. Everybody's excited. ZJ is excited. I met with her as well. She is so friggin' excited about the thing. She's hoping she can pop by for the vow renewal, but she knows we're all coming. So yeah, a lot of people on the island know that we're coming. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I hope you all are really excited. Please check those travel document requirements to make sure that you're not going to be left at the pier. Unfortunately, on our corporate event, there was at least one person who was left at the pier because he didn't have the right papers, the right documentation to get on the ship. I try to send you guys as much information as possible. Say, here's the links, here's the travel document. So make sure you go check out Margaritaville's travel documentation requirement, so you're not going to be left behind. And that goes for all of you cruising. Go to the cruise line. You can ask me all you want. I'm going to redirect you over to their document, because it can change in a heartbeat. So you always got to be making sure that you check what the cruise line says that you need.
Don't forget that the requirements may be different if you are not a U.S. citizen. Mm-hmm. In fact, they will be. They
will be different if you're not a U.S. citizen. Yeah. So, hey, Benny, Norma, your cruise is coming up on February 17th. Yay! Oh, it's your first cruise working with a travel agent. Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad we've made it simple and flawless for you. We try. We try. Look, we're not perfect. We fully admit we are not perfect, but we do the best that we absolutely can. And, hopefully y'all come back. We'll book some more cruises. That's our goal. Our goal is just to give you a really, really good vacation so we can become longtime partners with you. So, yeah. Alex, how are you? Hope you had a great time on a Margaritaville Islander. Any major differences between your previous sailing? So that's a great question. So for those of you who are new to the channel, Rebecca and I sailed on the Islander in June. June was the inaugural sailing for the Margaritaville Islander. They're all new ship, and the ship was great. We had a great time on it. There's content all over all my social channels. You can see that, they weren't perfect, but they were much better than we expected. The ship was clean. The rooms were great. Everything was beautiful. I just went back last week. I was real curious to see how are they holding up the ship. They only have the one ship. Hey, good morning, everybody. I see a bunch of people saying good morning. Good morning, everyone. But I'm happy to say the ship looked great. As we were getting onto the ship in Tampa, they were painting. The hull looks beautiful. The outside of the ship looked beautiful. My room, when I opened, I went into an extended balcony. It looked brand spanking new. When I opened the door, I was like, wow, they are keeping this ship up. Nice. Public spaces look great. Bartenders were even better than the last time we were there. I mean, the thing is, when we went on the last time, the crew had been on the ship for about 5 days. They were literally
the vast majority of the crew.
Yeah, the vast majority of the crew had been on there for 5 days. So it was like they were still trying to figure things out. Now, the bartenders were great. It's one of the things that Stephanie was commenting on, because I went cruising with Stephanie this time to bring her on board. Rebecca decided to take a little break because we're going right back on the ship in 2 weeks. So I took Stephanie instead, and she was like
9 days actually.
Yeah, so she was like, this was so relaxing. It was so much better than she expected. The food was still really good. I think the main dining room may have slipped a little bit in the quality of the food. That first week we were on, the food was like really, really good. It was still decent, nothing wrong with it, but I think it may have slipped just a little bit in the main dining room. But the JWB Steakhouse finally got in there, phenomenal. And the thing that really surprised us was the tiki grill on the back of deck 9, possibly the best chicken wings I've ever had on a cruise ship. Stephanie was saying the same thing. They were absolutely phenomenal.
And one thing I want to mention,
chicken wings.
Anybody who may be concerned because they've seen some videos of the bathrooms, and yes, they do have shower curtains, but
they're huge.
They do not suck in.
No, and they're
huge. Like a heavy enough weight that they don't suck in you at all. So
yeah, no, and the bathroom and the shower space is almost twice as big as, say, like on Princess. It's really big space in there. So, hey, retired firefighter, how are you? Your wife had benign vertigo. Do I think that she could handle a cruise?
I would talk to your doctor.
Yeah, I would definitely talk to the doctor. Yeah, that would be step number one. Because like for one thing, when you stand on a balcony and you're looking, you are looking down, that could create that sensation when you're looking down. Like I'm probably looking out from a ship, she would be fine. But if she were to go on a railing and look down, that might trigger something. The motion of the ship, I really don't know. I don't know if the motion of the ship would. You would definitely want to stay lower on the ship, which is going to take away. So on a ship, most of your restaurants, most of the entertainment is all going to be on the lower decks. And they do that because that's the most stable area of the ship. On some of the newer, but all of your pools are going to be up on the upper decks. Just about, in some cases, they might be at the back, down lower. But for the most part, like your big screens, your pools and all that, they're going to be on the upper decks. So I don't know. I would definitely talk to your doctor about it. I would definitely, if you're going to book, work with somebody like me, a travel advisor that we know up front. And what I would be looking at is booking you a room very low on the ship and towards the middle of the ship, which will give you the least amount of motion when you're sleeping. And that's going to be important too. When you're in the room, she's not getting too much. My guess, my only answer to that is maybe. I don't know. I don't know what her specific situation is. You might want to try something like, I don't like recommending 3-day cruises, maybe like a 4-night. Virgin Voyages has a fabulous Fire and Sunset soiree where you go to Key West and you go to Bimini. That's a night that's pretty smooth water. For the most part, you're not going that far. So that might be something to try if you were to do it. But something like that, a little 4-nighter to try to get out, something like that.
Don't recommend the weekend cruises because that's always a party vibe. So if you're going to do the 4-nighters, do one on Virgin where there is honestly less of a party vibe than most ships. People find that hard to believe. And if you're going to do the 4-day on another line, do the Monday through Friday version, which will be less of a party vibe than the weekend one, the 3-day.
And Kathy, one of our clients, is saying that she has a positional vertigo, and it depends on what your triggers are. Her upcoming cruise is to test hers on a cruise. She's actually coming on the Margaritaville Islander with her. So I actually have benign vertigo from time, but basically when I'm laying down and flat on my back, sometimes all of a sudden I get a trigger, and then I've got vertigo for like the next 2 or 3 days. So it happened to me, and my trigger is to lay flat on my back, looking straight up. Very often if I'm on a hard surface, I don't know why. So I just try to avoid doing that. Rick wants to know, what info do I have about the new Celebrity River cruises? About the same thing everybody else does right now. I believe I saw a note that they're going to go on sale in July. I thought somebody posted like May or July, they're actually going to go on sale. I haven't looked through all the documentation yet from Celebrity. There really isn't much. The only thing that we know is I believe there's going to be 2 ships that will actually launch in 2027. They will have 10. There's already 10 ships on order, and they say they're not done. They say there's many rivers out there, because the thing about river ships, they're built for the specific rivers that they're going on. It's not like you can build a Mariner of the Seas and then just send her pretty much anywhere in the ocean. With river ships, they need to be designed specifically for the rivers that they're going on because of the heights of the bridges, the draft that they need to get through, accounting for low season, high season. There's a lot of factors that go into building a river ship that don't concern an ocean ship quite as much. So they say they're just getting started. So river cruises, so everybody knows Europe, you got Asia, you got Vietnam and Cambodia, we've got the United States, the Nile and Africa. So there's a lot of places to go. And when you look at the river ship that go, you'll see, you can actually physically see, oh yeah, that looks different than the Nile ship looks completely different than the ones that go in Europe.
Oh, and the Amazon too.
Oh yeah, the Amazon as well. So there's a lot of places to go into rivers. And their hint was, they seem to imply that if you have status on Celebrity, Royal Caribbean, Silversea, we're going to status match you right into the new Celebrity, because it's going to be Celebrity, which means you could come in as if you're top tier Celebrity, top tier Royal Caribbean, you could potentially come in as top tier, which means you're going to get a ton of perks right off the bat. Now, what those perks are going to be, we don't know, because river cruising is generally all-inclusive, or just about all-inclusive. So I don't know what those perks are going to be, if that means you're going to get a lower rate. Maybe you're going to get more shore excursions, because usually one shore excursion is included in every stop. And then you pay for the additional. But we don't know a whole lot more than you guys do at this point. It blindsided everybody. I will tell you, we had no hint that this was coming. They probably didn't want us to know because they knew one of us would blab.
So I guess Royal Caribbean Group did build smaller ships.
Yeah. So Royal Caribbean is like, there, you wanted smaller ships? We built smaller ships. And by the way, speaking on that, we're still waiting on word on Project Discovery, which is their code name for the smaller Royal Caribbean ships. Still waiting to find out what that means. Hey, Macrina, how are you? Let's see. Diabetic, trying to convince your mama Bedic to try the Islander, not a parrothead, but she does love sponge cake. That's a good comment there. You don't have to be a parrothead to enjoy the Margaritaville ship. Yes, Jimmy Buffett is certainly prevalent. He's just an amazing, he's just got that whole cruise vibe. His music goes so well with cruising. And yes, you're going to see him on the big screen during the day. They play a lot of his live concert, but it's not oppressive Jimmy Buffett. It's, I just really like the vibe of the ship. The music that they play throughout the ship is certainly inspired by Jimmy. It's certainly got a lot of the same vibe, but you don't have to be a parrothead to go on a Margaritaville ship. You just need to want to go and relax. You just need to go and relax. So, yeah. Oh, Sean, you saw me on the Margaritaville. Oh, how are you? Did we say hello? I hope we said hello. If y'all ever see me on a ship, please do walk over, say hello. I'd love to talk to you. I love meeting everybody. So that would be a lot of fun. And seriously, yeah, do. It's the only way you're going to see Rebecca. So if you see Rebecca, you certainly want to say hello because you're never going to see her on this stuff. Super Dad, thoughts on Disney, as in Disney Cruise Lines? Fabulous. It's a really good cruise line.
Disney Parks, fabulous.
Yeah, Disney Cruise Line, some of the best food, some of the best service, amazing shows. Their ships are gorgeous. So yeah, thoughts on Disney are they're absolutely amazing. You're going to pay a premium price for them. That's really the consideration that it comes down to. You will be paying a premium price. Do you get the value that you pay for? It depends on the room that you're paying. There's certainly rooms that you can get that I think you would be overpaying for a Disney cruise, but does Disney bring the value to you for what you pay for? I think they do. There's certainly a unique experience. You cannot get Disney characters on the ship anywhere else, and the experience on Disney Cruise Line, I think, is much more relaxing than going to the parks. You certainly get much better character interaction, character time than you would in the parks. There's just not like 5,000 people all trying to get to Mickey. So yeah. Let's see. So yeah, Sean, I hope you said hi. Oh, good. Thanks. I'm sorry. I do meet a lot of people. Is Puerto Plata a tender port? Not usually. That is usually a pier. You would tie up. I don't know of anybody who has had to tender there. Yeah. You heard that, let's see. You heard that Explorer was in the same port as Margaritaville at sea. Any other cool ships you saw in port? I didn't see Explorer on this last cruise. We see cool ships all the time. We had 6 ships in Cozumel. So yeah, we had a bunch of Carnival ships. Norwegian was there, and somebody else was there. I couldn't see. It was a white ship, so it definitely wasn't. It was not Explorer because it was a white ship. Hey, retired firefighter. Good. I'm glad I was helpful. Look, once you talk to the doctor, if you want some help, just reach out. Our services are free. 100% free to you. You're watching on TikTok. There's links in my bio, or wherever you're watching, there's links. Or just reach out at where'swaltertravel.com. Set up an appointment. I encourage everybody to set up an appointment. I don't answer cold calls because it's literally just Rebecca and I, and our days are usually pretty scheduled out. Either we're taking calls, or we're doing research, or we're putting together proposals, or we're booking cruises. So whenever somebody cold calls, I will let that go to voicemail, and I will listen to it, and I'll reach back out at some point. But if you want to talk to me, the best way to do that is to go ahead and set up an appointment, and just do that. Adriana, are we going to try to Princess Star, the Star Princess? Maybe at some point. It's not something I'm rushing to do because we did the Sun Princess, so she's going to be very, very similar to that. But the Sun Princess was absolutely gorgeous. She had some shortcomings, but she was absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, it would be neat to get on the Star and just see what the differences are between the two.
You do have videos both on TikTok and YouTube on the Sun Princess,
on the Sun Princess,
which is going to be very, very similar.
Yeah, and I think I have a lot more content. I have so much content to get through. You should see all the content I have from the Explorer cruise and the Azamara cruise that I haven't even gotten out yet.
Heck, you still had stuff from the Oceana last Christmas.
From Oceana last Christmas, I have interviews that I never even put out.
This most recent one, the one before that. 2
Christmases ago. How is the MSC Seashore? I think it's a beautiful ship. So the thing about MSC is that the ships are gorgeous. I think the staterooms tend to be a little bit on the larger side versus all the rest of them, like a balcony on. I think a balcony on the MSC C-class, Seaside class, I think tend to be slightly larger than, say, a balcony on most of the other cruise lines you would go on. I mean, the room itself, not the balcony. And they have really, if you're a fan of like these bump out, these kick out balconies where the ship angles out or angles back in, I think they have like the best. They're big, they're huge. Where they tend to, I don't want to say fall apart, but where they tend to have issues is service and food, and it's the consistency of the service and the food. You really never know whether you're going to get good service or bad service cruise to cruise. Now, I have heard from some clients recently that it sounds like they're finally putting an emphasis and an effort into that. Because, when you go on a cruise, you pretty much feel like family the moment you get on the ship. Crew's happy to see you, they're taking care of you and all of this. We've run into multiple cases of what I call indifference. It's like, we just don't care. I might talk to you, I might not talk to you. Not to say the whole ship, it's just, the people that I run into on there that I'm not used to seeing on other cruise ships. And then the food in the main dining room and the buffet can be very up and down. Now they have homemade burrata that's amazing. They have pizza that's amazing. Coffee is like some of the best at sea. Ships are gorgeous. Specialty dining, good. So, it's hard to argue with it because of the price. The price is just, you can go on like 2 or 3 MSC cruises for one Royal Caribbean sometimes, based on the pricing. Their yacht club is a totally different experience. The yacht club is an amazing experience. It's a ship within a ship. It comes with more features than the Haven. I think it comes with more features than the Retreat. Probably the Princess Sanctuary comes the closest to matching up with that. But yeah, so MSC, you got to go into it saying, well, what am I paying for it? Am I willing to accept that maybe some things won't be as good as maybe what I'm used to on the other ship? But am I going to have a good time? Yeah, you're going to have a great time on the ship. If you go in with an open mind, you will have a great time on that. So, Misfit 7 Sins, you're going on the Horizon next week. Have an amazing time on the Horizon. I just saw her a couple days ago in Cozumel. So, Juan, you're just getting off the Frenzy. That's the wrong way. You need to be turn around and get back on the ship. The saddest day of the week, getting off the ship. I tell you, we had an interesting experience a couple days ago. We were coming back into Tampa, and it was 9:00 at night, and there was the bridge to St. Pete. And all of a sudden, Stephanie and I are looking at the map and going, "Wait, are we already here?" And yeah, we actually pulled under the Skyway Bridge approximately 9:45 in the evening. The day before we were supposed to come in, and we were tied up somewhere around midnight already in Tampa. And I thought I was like, wow, I've never come into a port, like into the home port this early. Well, it turns out one of my colleagues saw that there was a maritime warning for heavy fog from 7 p.m. to 9 a.m. So had we stayed out, we may not have gotten in until like well after 10 a.m. So they decided they sped up and got us in early. So that was actually kind of cool. So, but yeah, so that was kind of cool. Hey, Mike, how are you? Best last minute cruise finding site. Work with a travel agent. I mean, that's what we do. We look for that kind of stuff for you. But now last minute cruises are not always marked down. In fact, a lot of times they're much higher than if you would have booked. Some of the best pricing is really right when the cruises open up. But if you're going last minute, one of the things I do with a client, if you want to go last minute, we just get on the phone. That's all. We just hop on a phone call and we just start looking. We figure out, well, what do you want? What kind of a cruise line? Where do you want to sail out of? And then I just get on a phone call with you, and usually within an hour, we got it all set. You're booked, and off you go.
And so, yeah, he does his best, but sometimes the whatever you need just is not available last minute.
Just isn't there. Lisa, have I heard anything about a cruise line leaving from Philadelphia 2025 and 2026? Yeah, that would be Norwegian. Norwegian Cruise Line, the very first cruise will be April 16th of 2026. And I know that because we are booked on that. It is a big group cruise. If you're a fan of Loca, that's going to be a Philadelphia group cruise. That's going to be the very first one. I want to say, I think they said like 20, 30 years. It's going to be the first cruise out of Philadelphia. That's leaving on April 16th through the 23rd of 2026. We're sailing out of Philadelphia. That's going to be on the Norwegian Jewel, going to Bermuda and Charleston, South Carolina. I think we're starting to get close to 300 people in this group. It's going to be an amazing group. I hope Tony's ready for this. But yeah, it's going to be an amazing group on the Norwegian Jewel. So yeah, and that's the beginning. That will start the Philadelphia season. I honestly don't know how long the Philadelphia season is, but I hope this is going to open it up because I mean, Royal, Celebrity, Carnival, Explorer, Oceana, like there's a lot of ships. We have to go under 2 bridges to get out, but there's a lot of ships that can come up in there. And if this is successful, let's hope that all the other cruise lines will start coming in. That would be awesome to have another port besides New York and Bayonne and Baltimore. You know, so we got that. So that would be kind of a neat little slot to fill in right there. Let's see. Any truth that MSC is now only offering one-time turn-down service for Bella and Fantastica? I haven't heard that. I mean, most ships are doing one-time.
Yeah, I would say
one-time service.
These days, the vast majority of ships, unless you're in a suite, one-time service.
One-time service, yeah, probably.
And usually they'll let you pick whether you want morning or evening, but that may not always be the case.
Macrina asked a good question. Do I think all the port charges, not just Mexico, will soon start rising from the U.S. port of ships and feel they could be a significant hit for families where it may affect their cruise budget choices? So it doesn't matter where the ship is coming from. They are going to be charged the port fees. So when those new port fees go into effect in Mexico, every single port stop is now going to be an additional $42 per person, whether you get off the ship. Some people are like, I'm not going to get off the ship. Doesn't matter. It's just the ship coming in. So it will now cost an additional $42 per day per person to go onto those for the ship to stop there. Now, the cruise lines are going to do one of two things. They're either going to send you an invoice before the cruise. They probably won't do that. Or they're going to charge you each day. You're going to see it show up in the folio. Yes, you are going to be charged for that. The cruise lines are not going to eat that. Just do 42 times 5,000. Do 42 times 7,000. Do 42 times 1,000. That's money that the cruise line is not going to eat. They're going to now turn around and charge you that. And if you look at your cruise contract, it specifically says that, you know, we reserve the right to charge more if the fees go up before we get to the port. So it's not just U.S. ported ships, it's any ship. It doesn't matter where the ship's coming from. There are ships visiting from Europe going to Mexico. It's going to be an extra $42 US to stop there. So yeah, that's going to be crazy. You wish Florida ports would sail to Bermuda like a 7 or 8 day Bermuda cruise. I think Jacksonville might do that. But it's not a very popular cruise out of Florida. Most people, when they come down to Florida, they want to go down to the Bahamas and things like that.
Well, and it's just a, proximity thing too.
Yeah. So, Coastal Chick just got back from the West Indies. Databatic, almost 300 guests on the Tony cruise. Yeah, man, the West Indies. That is one place that I really want to visit. I would love to be visiting that area. I want to start branching out to other things. The cruise I would love to take one day is that Holland America round trip that goes all the way down to Fiji and Australia and New Zealand and the whole South Pacific. That would be so
but that's fun. Not the West Indies.
Well, yeah, I know, but it just made me think about going on different cruises. So okay. I know it's not the West Indies. The Brilliant Lady has phenomenal one-time only itineraries out of Miami to the Caribbean. Yeah, now the real interesting thing, if you've not looked at Virgin Voyages lately, they have some really interesting cruises. They got 4 ships now that they're selling. So once you get to that 4 ship mark, that opens up a lot of things. I'm actually really surprised that they're putting all 4 ships in the Caribbean for the winter time. But so by doing that, You've got also look at who's going to be in San Juan this year. Valiant Lady, whoever's going to be the San Juan ship. Look at those two, because there's some really cool itineraries out of San Juan as well. But now that they're going to have 3 ships operating out of Miami, you're going to have one ship doing the shorter routes. You're going to have one ship doing longer routes. And then the Brilliant Lady can just go off and do some unique itineraries. She's got some beautiful, beautiful itineraries coming up right now. So let's see if it doesn't affect cruise line. Celeste. Yeah, diabetic. I mean, we really don't know what's going to happen with the Mexican ports. Will it affect their decision to go in? Now, we did see it in Iceland. Iceland, was it Iceland? Yeah, it was Iceland that just suddenly raised their port fees. And the cruise ship did cancel. I think there was something like 70 or 80 port stops that were canceled. They didn't cancel Iceland altogether, but instead of making 3 or 4 stops, they might be making 1 or 2. You could see something like that. But the thing is, in the Caribbean, it's a lot harder. There's not many places to go, especially when you've got big ships. And when you're coming out of Galveston, you really don't have another choice. You're going to Mexico.
Or New Orleans.
Yeah, or New Orleans. You've got to go to another country. Those are, unless the laws change in the United States, they have to go to another country during the cruise. So when you're coming out into the Gulf, you really don't have a lot of choices unless you make the cruises longer. And that's good for some folks, but not so good for other folks. So I don't think that the Mexico raising of the port fees is going to have as much of an impact as everybody thinks, because I don't think the cruise lines are really going to. Royal Caribbean doubled down on the Perfect Day Mexico. They're still building it. They're still planning to go there. It's just the proximity of Florida and the Gulf to Mexico, and the fact that there's not a lot of places that you can put ships in the Caribbean, because there's so many ships in the Caribbean. There's only so many places to go. So I don't think it's going to have as much of an impact. I think what will happen at some point is there will be some negotiations going on. Like, I'm sure Royal Caribbean is trying to work out something right now where not being exempt, but trying to modify the cost of it, because they're going to be bringing so many people to Perfect Day. So yeah, so we'll see. Hey Celeste, how are you? Oh my gosh, so we just had the West Indies, and we've got Michael on YouTube. He's going on the Oceana Vista for the West Indies in 2 weeks. Oh wow, that's going to be cool. We just saw her. We were sailing. It was our final cruise of our 30 days. We were sitting on the Valiant Lady and the Vista kind of came up into the turnaround in Miami. So we got a real good look at her. She came up, did her nice little 180 degree spin, and then went out. She looks like a really fun ship. She looks like a great ship. So yeah, so have a lot of fun with that. Macrina, yes, $42 times 3 stops times however many people are in your party. Yes, it is going to affect you. And unless the rule changes, that goes. What is it? July?
I think so.
Yeah, I think it's July 1. So starting July 1, every ship that comes into Mexico, that's when that port fee is going to start. Yeah. So yeah. Somebody's saying that Royal Caribbean already tagged the tax on. Yeah, if you're booking any cruise that is stopping in Mexico after July 1st, the tax is already built in. They've already raised the rates and they've added it to the taxes and fees. You can see it. So, Horace, what are my thoughts on a Carnival Legend? So I've not been on her yet. I really want to go on that class of ship because I love that funnel with the steakhouse in the funnel. I really want to go on it. But Rebecca and I have not personally been on that class of ship yet. We keep talking about it. You know, we just need to run to like Port Canaveral, Tampa, wherever the ship is, and just go get on one of them. We've sent people on her. They've had a good time. It's a lovely ship. What is that? It's that is around 2,200 to 3,000 passengers. So it is on the smaller side. She's a original Joe Farkas design. So, you know, in some ways, she's got that loud, like 70s vibe, almost 80s vibe. But yeah, she's a lovely ship. I really want to stay out because I really want to experience that steakhouse up in the funnel. That looks really cool. So I don't really have any personal thoughts, but I can tell you that we've sent people out on that ship and out on some of her sisters, and they've had a great time. They've had a great time on them. So Carnival does a real, if you sailed on Carnival, there's nobody else like the Fun Squad. There is only one Fun Squad in all of cruising, and they earned that name. They really did earn that name. So they're absolutely fabulous. So yeah. Hey, good morning, Stacy. How are you? Oh yeah, it's Groundhog Day. How we doing? Rebecca, what did Phil say?
Phil saw his shadow, so he says 6 more weeks of winter.
And
everybody take that with a grain of salt, because apparently over the last 20 years, he's only been correct 35% of the time.
30. Who would have thought that a groundhog would have such a terrible record of predicting weather? I mean, come on, 35%. Phil, come on. I think you need a new line of work. Poor guy. He gets like dragged out in front of I wonder why he sees his shadow. 50 camera lights right in front of him. Oh, look at that shadow. Yeah, I wonder why he sees a shadow every year. Maybe you should turn the lights off, let him come out. And poor guy, he gets dragged out and held up, and he's like, "What is going on?"
I wonder if they rehearse that with him so he doesn't get too freaked out. Just dragging.
Yeah, I don't know. Macrina on YouTube is saying that the Carnival Spirit Steakhouse was fabulous in the funnel area. Love the red glass windows. I mean, it's so unique. It is so cool. That's right. So she's a Spirit class. So yeah, so around 2,200, 2,300. That is exactly what I just got. What I just left with the Margaritaville Islander. She's also a Spirit class ship. Lovely ship. Really easy to navigate. Oh my gosh, so easy to navigate that ship. I think you'll have a good time. Yeah. Justin, have we been on the Voyager overseas lately? No, not yet. If so, do they have the WOW bands? I think the WOW bands are still in the testing phase.
Well, from what I understand, they're only on
that's Quantum class.
Quantum and maybe Oasis.
Yeah, they're only on the larger ships.
Yeah, I don't believe they're on any of the smaller ships.
Yeah, I don't understand why more people don't get into these wearables. I mean, Princess has had them for over 10 years. They're phenomenal. And of course, Virgin came right out of the gate with them with the C-bands. They're so phenomenal. So no, as far as I know, it's only the Quantum class and maybe Oasis. Even the Icon didn't have them, which kind of surprised me.
Well, they might.
They might be adding them now.
They didn't when we were on, but that was a preview.
Yeah, so no, as far as I know, the Voyager class does not. But we've been on the Mariner. Love the Mariner. Oh my God, I love that ship so much. It's like the perfect size. The Voyager class, just the perfect size. It's got the ice skating rink. It's got the flow rider. It's got all that. The Royal Promenade. It's got all the stuff that Royal Caribbean for, but it's just not like really big. It's a really nice. And plus, the Mariner had the bamboo lounge, which I love. Austin, Jacksonville, you did 8 days to Bermuda once. It was fantastic. You wish they'd do it again. They're going to go where it sells. And my guess is that from Florida, Bermuda does not sell nearly as well as it does from a Northeast. That would be my guess. But I have seen some where Bermuda does pop up. It's not that often, but it does pop up.
It does show up a lot on Transatlantics.
Yeah, it does. So if you want to go across the ocean, you can stop there. But from Philadelphia, we're spending 2 days in Bermuda from Philadelphia before we go over to Charleston. That's another port I wish more ships would go to. Charleston. I mean, Charleston, it's just so beautiful. We're going to get to go there twice in like 4 or 5 months or something like that. We're going there with the Brilliant Lady in October, and then we're going to be back again with the Norwegian Jewel in February. So that's going to be amazing. So yes, she is a Spirit class. We have
actually been there because we used to live in Atlanta, so we drove there. But
I know. So Annette, what is my opinion on the Liberty of Seas Royal Caribbean? So that's a Freedom class. She's a lovely ship. We were on the
Freedom of the Seas.
We were on the Freedom of the Seas, so Freedom class. They're great ships. What's nice about them is they're a little bit larger than the Voyager class, so they were the next step up. So they got a little bit larger. They're able to add in a few more venues. The top deck got improved even more. It's a good ship. It's got everything Royal Caribbean is known for, including the venues. You have to take. I will admit that on Royal Caribbean, doesn't matter which ship I'm on, the main dining room is not my favorite. I don't think the main dining room is all that great. So we tend to go to the Windjammer more than we'll go to the main dining room. But the specialty dining tends to be quite good on Royal. I really enjoy hooked seafood. I really enjoy. I'm just saying, just in general, I really enjoy hooked seafood. The steakhouse was okay. Chops Grill was okay. I like Giovanni's Italian much more than Jamie's Italian. So and then Zumi, I think, is one of the best sushi joints at sea. I mean, it really is a good sushi joint. Plus, they got the hibachi. So that class of ship has everything that Royal Caribbean is known for. You're going to be pushing around 4,000, 4,500 guests on that ship. So yeah, it's a good ship. It's an absolutely great ship. Let's see. Shiny, how are you? Or Shinri? Or Shin, maybe. I'm so sorry. Your family loved the wearables on Princess last summer. Grandma was able to see where the family was. That is one of the things, and you can turn that off, but that is one of the things that the ocean medallions allow you to do in the app. You can actually see where people are. Like if like Rebecca and I could see where each other were, and then if you give permission, you can allow other people. Like we were on the cruise, like Stacy is watching this right now. We could see where Stacy was, so it was kind of cool. It's like, oh, hey, Stacy's over there. Let's go join her at the bar or the show or whatever. So that is one of the features of the wearable, but you can turn that off if you don't want to see where the other person is.
Generally, the people that are in your cabin, it's automatically on, so you can see each other, although you can still turn it off. And then anybody else outside of your cabin, you have to get permission.
Yes.
To do so.
Yeah, to see them. So,
and you do that all in the app.
Yeah, and Databetic would have assumed that Disney would have implemented a version of their Magic Bands to the cruise line. I know, right? So here's the interesting thing. The guy, well, he just left. John Paget was the president of Princess Cruises for quite a while. He actually introduced the Magic Band to Disney. That was like he was in charge of technology and all of that with Disney Cruise Line before he came over to Princess 10 years ago and introduced the Ocean Medallion. And then he said that the Ocean Medallion actually is the culmination of what he really wanted the Magic Band to do. The Magic Band really doesn't do a whole lot when you're in Disney, especially if you're not staying in one of their properties. I thought they were testing it on like the Wish and the Treasure. I thought it was coming to those ships, but I might be wrong. I could have sworn DCL Duo, those guys are like all over the Disney ships. They are so good with Disney information. But I thought there was either a test going on or they were starting to roll it out. Yeah, it makes no sense that Disney doesn't have it because they've had the Magic Band forever. Mike, do I know if plans are changed on the Carnival Mardi Gras? You're going the first week of March. What
they have
Carnival?
They have made lots of changes, particularly in departure times.
Yeah. So what just came out this past week is Carnival, basically fleet-wide, has announced that just about every port in the United States, they are now departing at 3:30 instead of 4. This is the home port. This is embarkation day. And I don't know the reason for this. I would get that here in Florida because it's so crowded here in Florida that there's only so many pilots to go around and you kind of have to change the slot. But we have received emails for pretty much every one of our domestic Carnival cruises that are departing from a U.S. port. They're now going to depart at 3:30 local time versus 4 o'clock local time. So that obviously has an impact on getting to the cruise ship because generally all aboard is 1 hour before that time because 3:30 is the time they plan to push off. So the gangway generally closes 1 hour before that so they can start getting everything, pull the ropes in, they can do everything they need to do, get the final clearance, and then push off and go. So that means you're going to have 30 less minutes to get onto the ships here in the United States. So it's a minor change, but it could have a big impact, especially for those of you who fly in the day of a cruise, which we never recommend. But you now have 30 less minutes to get to the ship. So just be aware of that. DIPs, how is the Celebrity Apex? We need to get on an Edge class ship so bad. Mm-hmm. They're beautiful. We have sent a lot of clients on it. Just absolutely. Let's put it to you this way. Once we get a client on an Edge class ship, it's very difficult to book them on anything else because those ships are just so beautiful. The food is good.
And the Apex is coming to Port Canaveral, so we're definitely going to have to get on it.
We're going to get on it next year because she's coming to Port. Is it next year? Or 26?
I think it's this winter. Like
winter time coming up. So late 2025. So we'll be able to tell you because she's literally coming to Port Canaveral, which is only an hour from us. So we will be. Maybe we'll drag Stef. Say, Stef, come on, we're going. Yeah. So Annette, you're welcome. I'm glad the information was helpful. Yeah, the thing with some of these older, smaller ships, quote unquote, older, smaller ships, people are like all concerned. Oh, it's an old ship. I don't know. They maintain these ships. Sometimes from the outside they don't look so great because I look. Some of them they just don't paint them well enough on the outside, and you're like, wow, they're starting to get rust, starting to get bad. But most of the time, when you go inside the ship, it looks a lot better. They do maintain them inside, but you know, the Margaritaville Islander, that is a 24-year-old ship. She had a full career with Costa, and now Margaritaville has it, and she looks fabulous for being 24. She looks amazing. So don't ever let the age of the ship deter you from going on. And when you go on to a site like Cruise Critic, which is phenomenal, Cruise Critic is great. You get so much like real feedback. You have to look at all the Debbie Downers and see, well, what are they really complaining about? Because if you look at any cruise line on Cruise Critic, they're all terrible. You shouldn't go on any one of them, because there are people in there who will complain and complain. And I find the people who complain the most are the ones who have like maybe just exclusively sailed on them, or they've sailed on them forever, and they really don't have anything to compare it against. And they're just like, well, it's not like it used to be. No, nothing is like it used to be. Well, except the Islander. Which one of the things that Stef and I were talking about was it was like a throwback cruise. We didn't have to pre-plan anything. We didn't have to pre-book anything. We just kind of showed up and relaxed. And I was like, yeah, I remember this, where you didn't have to pre-book your dinners. You don't have to pre-book your shows. You don't have, we just kind of, you want to go see the show? Yeah, let's go see the show. You want to book JWB for tonight? Yeah, let's go book it for tonight. So it was actually kind of a throwback, but yeah, you just have to consider the source for where the information is coming from, and take it with a grain of salt. And if you see, you know, like 100 reviews in a row and they're all terrible, well, then maybe something, and they're all pointing out the same thing, then maybe something's up. But for the most part, we've been on, we're pushing 40 cruises now across, I don't know how many cruise lines, 12 cruise lines, something like that. We haven't had a bad one yet.
And I'd say if you are at all concerned, look at when it was last refurbished.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, sometimes when they're getting towards the end of that cycle and haven't quite gone in yet, yes, they can be a little tired and stains. And but look at when it was last refurbished, if that's a concern. Right.
So, Barbara, you going on Utopia February 24th? I can't wait. You got a reservation for the new railroad themed restaurant. That's a very hard ticket to get. Yeah, it's very hard to get on there. Now, Utopia, just so you know, from everything that I've been seeing and hearing, that really is a party ship. So get ready for 3 nights or 4 nights of partying. They are really going after the party vibe on that one. So you should have a lot of fun. The Pesky Parrot, look, it's what I'm excited to go see. We're going to get on it eventually. We haven't booked it yet, but we are going to get on that eventually. So, hey, Jennifer, how are you? Good to see you. Let's see. Going to the fjords in Norway on Apex. Yeah, we've actually got, I think, is that the ship they're going on? I think,
there is somebody.
Yeah, we've got at least one set of clients who are going on that in Norway. Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful ship. Hey, Tammy, how are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, but the Norwegian Fjords is the big one for the Celebrity Edge class, and I believe that is the Apex that's going on in there. We also have some clients going on much smaller ships too, like Viking and Oceana, maybe Azamara. But there are some much smaller ships that are going in there too that can honestly go where the bigger ones can't. They just simply cannot get into some of those locations. So,
and I would say definitely if you're going to the Norwegian fjords, particularly from the U.S., where it is quite a long flight to get there, try to do more than the 7-day cruise, because you get, I mean, I was doing some research and I looked at the 7-day cruises, and then there's the 12s and 14s. The 12s and 14s are so much vastly superior.
Just in terms of where you can go. So
much more stuff. And quite often you get up over the Arctic Circle, where you can't do that with the 7-day cruises. So,
and plus the ship can sit in port longer because it doesn't have to hurry up and get back.
And I understand, you know, people have limited vacation time and you may not be able to do that, but if you can swing it at all, try and do one of the longer ones.
Or, you know, tack on some time on land. You know, don't just come right home if you can. I try to encourage a lot of my clients who go to Europe to do that as well, because, you know, it's a long flight to get over to Europe. And if you're just going there for a 7-day cruise, you know, at least try to tack on 2 or 3 days before or after the cruise to, you know, really take in a little bit more and extend that vacation out and really take advantage of it. 20 days until you're on the Prima. Excited to see why people love it or hate it. They really do have a love-hate relationship with that class of ship. We're going on the Aqua May 31st. That's going to be our first group cruise. No, our second group cruise of the year. fact, I should put up some of my group. Oh, Betty's the one who's going to be on, Betty Sims. She's going to be on the Apex in August in Norway. I knew we had somebody, at least one person going on there. Yay, thanks, Betty, for popping in. But yeah, let me just pop these up real quick while we're talking about it. Now, this in 2 weeks, we're not booking it anymore, but in 2 weeks, we've got anybody going on to Margaritaville Islander, you're going to see us February 11th. We got a big vow renewal.
9 days. Don't wait 2 weeks to get on the ship.
Yeah. Then the Philadelphia group cruise is going to be April 16th through the 23rd, 2026. That's a Norwegian jewel. Philadelphia, Bermuda, Charleston. It is going to be the Lido Loca Triangle cruise is what it's going to be. There will be exclusive events with Tony and Jenny B, and maybe a shore excursion, but that's going to be real fun. That's the very, very first ship going out of Philadelphia in many years. So that's why Tony wanted to do it. Then Lido Loca is going to Canada, New England this year. October 11th through the 18th, they're going to be on the Enchanted Princess. It's a 7-night cruise. New York, Newport, Boston, Portland, St. John, and Halifax. Again, there will be an exclusive event with Tony and Jenny B. Now, that one is port intensive, so there probably won't be quite as much Tony and Jenny B events on the ship, but there will certainly be at least one. And of course, you're going to see them, and there will hopefully be some opportunities for group dinners on there as well. Plus, you can add a 7-night history tour, American history tour, prior to the cruise. It's just like an Alaska cruise tour. You fly in, princess meets you, all the lodging taken care of, the tours are taken care of, the tickets are taken care of, most of the meals are taken care of. So you can turn that into a 14-day vacation if you want to. Rebecca and I, unfortunately, will not be on that particular cruise because we're going to be on the Brilliant Lady sailing from Quebec all the way down to Miami, leaving on October 3rd from Quebec, and then we'll arrive in Miami on October 16th. We're going to do Quebec, Halifax, St. John, Eastport, Maine, Boston, Charleston before we arrive in Miami. That's a 13-night cruise just coming right down the eastern seaboard on the brand. It's only going to be the 5th cruise for the Brilliant Lady. That's the brand new Brilliant Lady happening this year. If you want to come along with us, it's not a group yet, but we're trying to turn it into a group so we can give everybody some extra onboard credit. Probably last call for Alaska. We're going to Alaska in June. The group rates are gone. However, well, actually, I haven't checked Oceania to see what this month is. But last month, they had really good rates that were really close to what we were offering for group rates. But this is June 26th through July 8th on the Oceania Riviera. Only 1,200 passengers. 12 nights, leaving from Seattle. It's going to be 8 ports total, and some of those ports we're in for 14 hours. So, like, if you want some time to explore Alaska, this is the cruise to do it. June 26th through July 8th, Oceania Riviera. Again, the group rates are gone, but the rates that Oceania had last month were really good. I have to check to see what they have this month. And then next Valentine's Day, we're going to be in Hawaii, February 4th through the 20th, the Emerald Princess sailing from Los Angeles. So we got LA, Honolulu, Hilo, Kahului, Kauai, and Ensenada. Plus, we're going to tack on a few days in Disneyland. Disneyland has a 70th anniversary happening starting in May, and it will still be going on all through next year. So I'm excited. I've never been to Disneyland. So we get a Disneyland vacation, and we get a 16-day Hawaii cruise. It's 10 sea days. So if you're somebody like, man, I love the sea days, this is the cruise for you. Or maybe you want to take a transatlantic, but you don't want to have to like fly one way or the other. This is like a transatlantic, but it's round trip. It's 10 days at sea. It's going to be awesome. Again, February 4th through the 20th, 2026, Emerald Princess. And that is pretty much it for the group cruises that we got going on. I mean, we still have a couple of seats left for the Norwegian Aqua in May, but not that much. So DIP, thought on a drink package, so expensive, $80 a day. That's actually a good rate. Going on the 12-day, that's around $1,000 a person. So I can't remember which ship.
Celebrity.
Celebrity,
Apex,
yeah.
I believe.
Yeah, so it is expensive. So you have to, Royal Caribbean goes up to like $125 a day per person. I've seen that. I mean, that's really expensive. You just have to do the math. That's all. It's that simple. You can easily Google celebrity drink bar menus. You can easily Google those all day long. And then just look, what drinks do you order? What kind of beer? What kind of wine? What kind of cocktails do you order? Look at them. How many are you reasonably going to have in a day?
How many are both adults in the cabin reasonably going to have?
Yeah, because you both have to get it. If there's two adults in the cabin.
If one of them doesn't drink at all and the other one does, that
then it's a waste of money for sure. But just do the math. So Rebecca and I did the math on the Carnival Mardi Gras. Had we purchased the drink package, we would have spent an extra $700 or $500. It was like $500 or $700.
I think it was $500.
Yeah, like $500 we saved by not getting the drinks package. And I didn't even try. I just ordered cocktails when I wanted to. I ordered coffee when I wanted to. And we saved $500. So just Google and say, okay, I'm going to get this drink. I'll probably get that drink. I might get this many coffees. I might do this. And how much are you spending? And if it's like $40 a day that you're going to be spending, obviously $80 a day doesn't work. Now that the package that Celebrity sells with the Wi-Fi, that does come out cheaper than if you buy a drinks package and a Wi-Fi package independently. So I will tell you that. But do you actually need? That's going to be up to you. So, Dr. Val, John, and you are going to be on the Margaritaville. Yay! Awesome. So we're going to see you guys in just 9 days, right? That's what you said?
9 days.
So I'm not going to say we're going to have prizes. We got a scavenger hunt. We're going to be hiding little hamburgers instead of ducks. You're going to have to find hamburgers. So that's going to be really our colleague Alyssa. So this big group cruise, the Valentine's cruise, is Where's Walter Travel and Adventure Travel Vacations. I think it's the name of Alyssa's company as well. So we both work under the KHM Travel Group umbrella, and it's really cool because look, with travel agents working under the same umbrella, we don't really compete. We work together. So Alyssa and I put this cruise together. She's booked a bunch of people. I booked a bunch of people, and it's like around 140 folks that are all going to come together on the ship. It's going to be absolutely amazing. So so I can't wait. Yeah, Jay Bobo, figure drink can be $15 a piece with gratuities. That actually a little
Cocktails.
higher. Yeah, cocktails, but beer, you got to figure beer, soda, and coffee as well. Again, just go look at the menu. It's literally, the drinks are right there, and pick the drinks that you would
And I know
drink.
you haven't gotten to this comment yet, but when he's talking coffee, he's talking specialty coffee drinks like cappuccinos and lattes.
Oh, yeah.
Not just the cup of coffee you get in the dining room or in the buffet. That coffee is included.
Yeah.
But it's quite often not as good as the coffee you can get from the specialty coffee, like on Celebrity, the Cafe El Baccio.
Oh, that's really good coffee.
That coffee you have to pay for.
The Celebrity coffee in the buffet is somewhat drinkable. The only really good drinkable coffee on any cruise ship is MSC.
The free coffee.
Yeah, the free coffee up in the buffet. That I actually will drink all day long. It's actually a very good coffee. All the other cruise lines, I won't drink their buffet coffee. I'll make iced coffee out of it. That's what I'll do with it. But I won't drink it as hot coffee because it's terrible. Even Virgin Voyages, they have a weird flavor to it. So I'm always getting the specialty coffee, even just to get an Americana. I will just go get an Americano. So yeah. Hey Douglas, I'm glad I was able to help. Cheryl, are we going to go to Cagney Steakhouse while on the Jewel? If so, please let us know if you enjoyed it. We don't know yet.
Well, we have gone to it on the Escape.
And it was quite good. My favorite restaurant on Norwegian right now is Food Republic. It is so freaking good. I love that. Where are we going on the Aqua?
Well, we have reservations for Onda by Scarpetta, which is the Italian place, Palomar, which is the Mediterranean seafood, and Sukhothai, which is their brand new first Thai restaurant at sea.
Yeah, so there you go.
Then we're going to go to the sushi place, but you cannot, at least right now, you cannot make reservations for that. So
Right. So we may or may not try it, but I will tell you that the JWB Steakhouse on Margaritaville was awesome.
I will say it's likely we will do it on the Jewel because there aren't a lot of options.
Yeah, there are.
And we have 4 specialty dinners to have. So
now Rick, this is an interesting idea. Rick said the coffee is so bad on Holland America, he packed a French press to bring your own coffee, use hot water to make. I have done the same thing, but I use an AeroPress. So an AeroPress is so much easier to bring onto a ship than a French press, especially since you just push the grinds right out of it. But that's what the AeroPress was designed to do. It was designed to be a French press that you could take anywhere. So if you're doing that and you don't have an AeroPress, look that up. AERO, AeroPress. It's like $20, $25 on Amazon. It is amazing. It is absolutely amazing.
And if you haven't had it so long you've lost it, it does come with a little case that you can pack it in and bring along.
Yeah. So it's great. I have actually done that in the past. I have brought it with me on travels. I haven't done it lately because I just keep buying the specialty coffee. But Alex wants to know, for Philadelphia, any pre-cruise plans that you should be aware of. So the Philadelphia one's an interesting animal because it's Thursday to Thursday. So right now, plans are to fly up on Monday and do a couple days of touring around in Philadelphia. I'm doing research on a food tour. There's like 2 really good food tours up there. And then one of the versions of the history tour. Of course, you got the hop on, hop off bus up there. But right now, the idea is to fly up on Monday, spend a couple days doing that, and then go get on the ship. So we started looking for a group hotel before the end of the year, realized we should wait until we get to the new year. So now that we're in the new year, my plan this week is I got 2 sets of hotels to get. I got to get a set of hotels in New York for the October cruise, and I want to nail down the hotels for April. So the idea is we're going to get a group hotel for Monday, if you want to fly in on Monday, and then I'm going to get another hotel for Wednesday, if you just want to fly in on Wednesday and get on the ship. So that is the only plan right now.
And that is 438 days away. So there is time.
Kathy, where can you find pricing on those group cruises? So right now, you basically need to reach out to me. I've got web pages. If you go to where'swaltertravel.com, I've got pages there. In fact, there are links. If you're watching me on YouTube right now, there are links in the description for most of these, but they're all on my website. Only the October Princess cruise has pricing shown. All the rest of them, you need to contact me because they've been up there for a while and the pricing has been changing. But the Princess is so new, we were able to put the pricing up, and it looks like most of the pricing that I've got up there is holding. So just reach out. If you've got questions about any of them, just reach out. Just reach out and ask. I can easily get that pricing for you. Good, you found the links, Kathy. Wonderful. I hope you come join us on one or more. It's going to be a lot of fun. So Macrina, this is a great question. What types of events are typically planned on group cruises? Obviously a meet and greet, but what else? Social and fun things.
And so we have to say this does vary from group cruise to group cruise.
Yeah, so it depending on the cruise you're going on and also how many people. Like, for example, on the Sun Princess, we had a meet and greet, like on the first day, like a check-in, come meet and greet. And then we did a cabin crawl, which was a ton of fun, where we had enough different types of cabins booked where we literally just went cabin to cabin for 10 minutes each just to go check out all the various cabins. But we only had about 37 people on that cruise, right around 30 people. So it was really easy to do that. On Margaritaville, we've got 150 people coming. We can't do a cabin crawl. There's just be too many people trying to go around and look at all the cabins. But typically, you're going to have a check-in on day one, a hello. You might do a sail away gathering. You might have a cocktail party. Very often there's at least one group dinner. It might be in the main dining room where we reserve a whole block of seats. There's usually at least one event during the cruise. On this February cruise coming up in 9 days, Tony and Jenny B are coming on. So we're going to have a Loca meetup. We're going to do a trivia. Me and Alyssa are going to do a trivia one morning. Alyssa's going to host a painting class one morning, and then we're going to do a big surprise event on the last day that we're not talking about publicly. You're going to have to be there to see it. And then we've got a big vow renewal because it's Valentine's Day. So that's what we're doing. But typically, there's certainly a check-in. There's a meet and greet at some point, like a Q&A meet and greet. There might be games. There may be something scheduled for dinner, like come meet up for dinner. But the biggest thing about going on a group cruise is you're coming on the ship usually with a bunch of friends. Like, you already know these people, or you're coming on with like-minded people. And it's especially great. Like, a lot of solo travelers like to go on group cruises because they meet up with other people. When you meet up with other solo, we've got a ton of solo travelers on that Philly. I think we booked almost every solo cabin that's available on the Jewel for this cruise.
A few have opened up.
Yeah, a few have opened up. But yeah, so typically, it just depends. And then there may be a group excursion and there may not be. So
and all these events are certainly
totally
optional.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like you have to attend every single event.
Yeah,
if you have something else you want to do, go do it.
Go do it. Now, the only thing that everybody on the Margaritaville cruise should do is come to the last event. it's going to be worth your while.
So they can get the wristbands.
Yeah. So, that's the other thing too. Like with the bigger cruises, we give out wristbands or lanyards. Like the Margaritaville cruise, everybody who's coming on that in our group is going to get a wristband so that you are easily recognizable and identifiable by the crew to let you into the various events. So that's going to be cool. On Sun Princess, we didn't do that. We didn't have a ton of people. So it was very easy. So good morning, Sue and Phil. Love it. Alex, yes, everybody's going to get an email as things happen with New York City and Philadelphia for sure. Macrina, group cruise for Carnival with less than 100 people, with less than 100. Yes, you can certainly do that as well. Jennifer, yes, 150 people are on the Margaritaville cruise. We're getting close to 300 on the Philadelphia cruise, so that's going to be really, really cool. Hey, John, how are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. Thanks so much for popping in. Can't wait to see you guys as well. Gordon, how are you? Favorite cruise line to Alaska? Well, if you want to do the land tour, and I recommend if you can swing it, we talked about 7 days going to Norway. If you can swing 10 to 14 days in Alaska, and especially because for like a lot of people, you're going to go there one time. You may not have a chance to go back. If you can do the land tour, Princess. There's only one choice. That's Princess. They own all of their own lodges. They run the land portion of it pretty much like the cruise portion of it. You don't have to think about it. They take you everywhere you need to go. The hotels are there. They move your luggage and all of that. If you're only going to do the ship, Princess is still my number one choice because they have been doing this. Almost them and Holland America have been doing it the longest. So they have first right of refusal for pretty much all of the berths, which is why their ships will dock almost everywhere, while some other ships are having to start tendering, which we're actually tendering a few times on the Oceania ship in places like Juneau, where we've never tendered before, but there's a lot of ships up there. So I always lean into Princess first, and it's the smaller ships. If you're only going to do 7 days, I highly recommend the one way versus the round trip. Because when you do one way, you're either going to get one extra glacier, you're going to get one extra port stop because you're starting or ending in Canada, which satisfies the law that you must start or end in another port, or you must go to another port over the course of the cruise.
The law, it doesn't enter into it because it's not a round trip.
It's not a round trip, yeah. So since they don't have to do a round trip, they don't just have to do that token stop in Victoria, which is very often only 3 hours. So it's kind of a throwaway stop. I do recommend the one way. I like the southbound. I like to fly to Alaska and then end up in Vancouver because Vancouver is just absolutely beautiful. Tack on a few days there. But Princess would be number one. Holland America is going to be kind of close behind that.
And Holland America does have some really nice longer cruises.
They do. They have
and I only do them once or twice a season, but they're amazing.
Beginning and end of a season, they have like some 10s and 14s that are beautiful. I mean, really nice itineraries, even going all the way up to Dutch Harbor. Anybody who watches Deadliest Catch, where Dutch Harbor is, the ships go all the way up there, which is amazing. So if you just want to do the ships, then look at Holland America for some of those longer itineraries. Then I lean into Oceania. Azamara has some beautiful itineraries, and even Virgin surprised us starting in 2026. Virgin has some amazing itineraries. I just don't know how good the experience is going to be yet. We know the onboard product is amazing from Virgin. I don't know how, because you've got over 60 ships up in Alaska. It takes a lot to get the berths and get everything right. Now, one thing Virgin did was they came up with amazing itineraries, which is kind of a wait and see to see how good the product really is up there. I'm sure they're going to do a great job. It's kind of a wait and see. But number one, Princess, then Holland, then Oceania, Azamara. Those are my next two favorites up there. Explorer is coming to Alaska in a couple of years. That's what we've been told. With nothing on the books yet, but that's what we've been told. So I hope that was helpful. If you want to reach out, we have booked well over 100 cruises up in Alaska for our clients. We're taking a big group to Alaska in June on the Oceania Riviera. That's going to be a 12-night cruise. So that's one of the things about the round trip. It's a 12-nighter. So we actually have time to go out. It's not 7 nights where we have to hurry up and come back. And we've got up to 14-hour port stops in some of these places. So yeah, that's going to be amazing. So Barbara, your anniversary is on the 14th. Yay. That's so exciting. Yes. So I think you're coming on that. Are you in the group with us? I hope so. Let's see, Dale, you went on your first cruise with Virgin Voyages. It was perfect. You are hooked. Wow. You spoiled yourself by going on Virgin first. Virgin is an amazing product. They are they had like one of the best years ever. And I know in terms of our travel agency, KHM Travel, I think they said we increased our Virgin Voyages by, I don't know how many. It's like way up. A lot more agents are now discovering Virgin Voyages and passing it on to you guys. When you first look at the pricing, like, wow, it's higher. But then all of the restaurants are included. The Wi-Fi is included. The gratuities are included. The soft drinks are included. The group exercise are included. So much of the product is included. Plus, you don't have kids. And it is it's kind of like what we were talking about earlier with Margaritaville, and something Stef and I were talking about. It's a very relaxing ship. The only stressful part about Virgin is trying to book those restaurants 45 days out or 60 days out. That is really the only stressful part of
usually
Virgin.
The people in suites, the 60-day out, it's not that stressful booking.
No, but the 45-day.
Yeah, that one.
That's really the most stressful part of it.
They're working on improving that.
Yeah, the new app is coming out. Gordon, please do reach out. I would love to help you figure it out. And there might even be somebody else that we haven't even talked about yet that ends up working for you. Oh, Barbara, you're on I can't recognize the handle. So Barbara's Razzie Bling. So you're in Oceania too. Okay, I know who you are now. Yay! I'm so excited. We're gonna see people. Oh my gosh, I just love hanging out with you guys. We're gonna see one of our clients tomorrow that we've never met. We've sent him out on a couple cruises. He's actually coming on the Margaritaville cruise, but it's like, we're gonna get together for lunch tomorrow. So that's gonna be great. What?
I did not know that.
Yeah. No, we're getting together. Remember, I talked about
you
about
talked
that.
about it. I never heard a date.
No, it'll be tomorrow. Tomorrow. Kathy, what a great question. I love this question. Any thoughts of taking a Cunard Transatlantic instead of flying over? You have our first Virgin Voyages cruise from Southampton to Iceland. My wife would rather avoid the long flight since our first trip to the UK. Yes, big advantage. I love this. I wish more people would consider this. If you have the time, now you got to have the time. It's a 6-day cruise to get.
It was 7.
I think it's 6.
Okay.
I thought it was 6 because it's just a straight shot.
Yeah.
It's 6 or 7. I think it's 6, but it might be 7. So Cunard, the Queen Mary 2, does approximately 20 to 24 transatlantics every year. Like that, it's just a design. And this is no frills. This is not, we're going to take 15 days and we're going to meander. We're going from New York to Southampton. We're going from Southampton to New York, or we're going to do it from Hamburg. They actually do it from Hamburg as well. So the big advantage to that is you don't have to get on the plane and deal with all the things of the plane. You just got to do that. Like I assume you live in the States, so you just do that domestic flight. You got to get to New York. That's a lot easier than flying across. I have seen interior staterooms on the Queen Mary. Now I haven't looked lately, but I have seen interior staterooms on the Queen Mary as low as $1,500 for 2 people. Now you say, well, that's an interior. Well, who cares? Because you're on the Queen Mary, so you're still getting that Queen Mary, so you're still getting that white glove service. You're getting the food, you're getting the experience, and you're having a nice, relaxing ride over. And the only thing is, it has to time up. You want it, because they only do 22, 24 a year. It's not like every week. Some people think it's every week. It's not. So there will be times that it's dark. So it may also be that, well, you can't take it over, but maybe you can take it back. Kind of a thing. So yes, it's very possible to do, and very often it is much lower cost, especially if you take an interior or an ocean view, because all you want to do is just get over there. That means you can take an economy flight, get to New York, and then take that lovely ride over. I was really trying to set up something where we were going to take the ship both ways, and it may work out at some point, but the idea was I was trying to do too much in one trip. So it'll probably be one of those things where maybe we take it one way and we do a river cruise and we come home, kind of a thing. But yeah, no, it's totally possible to do that. So yeah. Sailing Norwegian on the 15th of February, they messed up your rooms. Instead of across from each other, you were separated by 2 decks. Did you do a guarantee on that? Or were they booked? Because if they were booked, the room should not change if you booked, and you did not accept any. If somebody bid on an upgrade, yeah, that can happen. But if you book guarantee, then they can put you wherever they want on the ship. Yeah. So, Sherry, what's the best cruise to Alaska? We just talked about.
Tuned in just a smidge too late.
Go back to YouTube and rewind. No, I'm just kidding. My number one choice is Princess in Holland America, and then Oceania Azamara. And I'm really intrigued with Virgin Voyages to see what they're going to do. But if you want to talk about a show, oh no, don't apologize. If you want to reach out, we've booked well over 100 Alaska cruises and cruise tours. So if you want to reach out and talk about it, I'd be more than happy to help out. Our services are 100% free to all y'all. And if you don't book a cruise with us, hey, no harm, no foul. It's all good. We just want to help out. But yeah, briefly, if you want to do a land tour with the cruise, then do Princess. Princess's cruise tours are just simply among the best. If you just want to cruise, I recommend a one-way versus a round trip, unless you're getting on a longer round trip, like we're about to get on Oceania in June. That's 12 nights. So we got plenty of time to hit all the stops, and we got up to 14 hours. But if you do a 7-night round trip from Seattle, one of the days can very often be a throwaway day because they just stop in Victoria for 3 hours. Barely enough time for the ship to stop, let alone get off and go see something. But if you do Alaska to Vancouver, Vancouver to Alaska, that would be the way to go. So those are my quick recommendation. But if you want to reach out, Sherry, just go ahead and set up an appointment. I'll be more than happy to help you. Joe, so your TA booked them across from each other, doing nothing to help. I don't know what to tell you. Your travel agent has access to support that the general public doesn't. So I don't know what the situation is. That's all I can tell you, is that the travel agent has access to support that the general public doesn't. So they should be, they should be calling their support at Norwegian. And if that doesn't work, then they should reach out to what's called their regional rep. It's called a business development manager. They should be reaching out to them for some help. So I don't know what the situation is, and I cannot get involved. If something was booked with somebody else, I can't touch it. So I'm sorry, I can't help any further.
And I'm not sure that's necessary. It could be something to do with Norwegian, or it could be the travel agent. So I don't know that I necessarily blame Norwegian.
Yeah, I
don't know what happened.
The only thing I can tell you is to go back and look at your original confirmation, that when you made your deposit, go back and look at that confirmation and verify that the rooms were right next to each other. And
that you had actual cabins. And
I've never had any cruise line change a cabin on me. That I haven't had.
The only way I could see it happening is if perhaps one of the cabins wasn't accessible and you did not need one, and they had somebody who did, and they moved. But other than that, I don't know of them just randomly moving people. Yeah. Although there are times when cabins go down for some reason or other, and they have to. And then they
have to move. Yeah. That's really the only other thing I can see is that a cab. I've actually gotten that email from a couple of cruise lines saying due to issues with, like, Virgin, like literally closed like a whole deck at one point. So they had to move our guests, but we're notified of that. We receive a notification.
Okay, well, Norwegian said it was their fault.
Yeah, so I don't know. Unfortunately, I can't get involved with that.
And at this late date, if the things are already moved, chances are that the cabin that whoever got moved from is no longer available. Yeah, so I'm sorry that happened to you, but unfortunately, we can't offer any more insight or advice because we don't know. And I can't get involved. I can't touch. Like 2 weeks away, so that's a tough situation. Let's see. You do food creation. Macrina, you heard a rumor that internet upgrade on Virgin Voyages is now or will soon be an upcharge. True, and how much? It's always been an upcharge. Virgin Voyages gives you the basic Wi-Fi, but if you want to go to streaming speed, you've had to upgrade from day one. Our very first cruise. Unless you had Deep Blue Extras. Yeah, unless you had Deep Blue Extras. Now they have 3 tiers of internet. So they've got the one that they give you. Then they've got what they consider a high speed, and then they have what they call work remotely. That's the one that allows VPN access and full streaming. I think the premium one allows some streaming, but it's the top tier that now allows VPN access and things like that. So Virgin Voyages Wi-Fi has always been an upcharge if you didn't have Deep Blue Extras if you wanted to get the high speed. So they just added another tier. So now there's 3 tiers instead of 2.
Yeah, yeah. So Kathy's saying she has no shame about going inside. There's no shame about going inside. It's lovely to be in there. You just need to really look, at the room and what comes with it. Like we did an inside on the Sky Princess, and I swear it was the balcony cabin without the balcony. It was like 3 feet shorter, I think, but it was the same cabin. So yeah, no, insides are great. And then you put the bridge cam on your TV, and boom, ocean view. You got it. It works really well. So yeah, Kathy, if we can help you at all, would you help? Just go, with your cruising and whatnot, just reach out. We'd be happy to help you out. Elaine, you got your second cruise for you, first for your husband on the Norwegian Getaway in an aft corner haven. Oh man, aft is the best.
Haven on your husband's first cruise.
Yeah, you know your husband's never going to get out of the haven now, right? Because you're not going to be able to book anything but the haven, or the celebrity retreat, or the MSC Yacht Club. You're in it now, or Virgin Voyages, Rockstar. Yeah, you're in it now.
Explorer Journeys.
Ooh, Explorer Journeys. Oh my gosh, Explorer Journeys. I can't talk about them enough. They are just so. It's just a cruise experience that I've never had in my life. I don't know that I've ever been on a ship that you basically had to pry me off. I've certainly never hugged my coffee machine before on any cruise line.
You very rarely have one in the room.
It was. Oh, people! I'm telling you, there is if you're tired of nickel and diming and you don't want to ship with a lot of people, oh my gosh, it's just and the fact that Explorer Journeys suites can sometimes be around the price of a Royal Caribbean Junior suite just blows my mind because everything's included. Everything is included except for one restaurant, shore excursion, and then if you want the very top shelf liquor.
Like very top shelf.
Oh man, I think I might have a favorite cruise line. I just might, but yeah, wow, that was amazing. My favorite cruise experience so far still that was Alaska. The 14-day land sea tour that Rebecca put together was just absolutely amazing. That was on the Sapphire Princess. Yeah, I'm a big fan for the older ships. I really am. I think they're just lovely. They have character. Especially the older princess ships, you don't forget that you're on a ship. They're very nautical inside. They're Italian styling, and they're more nautical. I think that the trend lately is now to look more like either a theme park or look more like a resort inside, and you kind of forget that you're on a ship, which actually Explorer leaned into that heavily. You really did forget you were on a ship on there. It looked like a 5-star resort. But I do love the older princess ships, the Holland America ships. You do not forget that you're on a cruise ship. And I do kind of like that. It's a lot of fun. So Elaine says that's the goal. That's awesome. That's a good goal to have, Elaine. Keep him in the suite, keep him in the haven, keep him in the yacht club, do all that good stuff. Stay away from the plebes. No, just kidding. That's us. That was us. We've been on MSC twice, and we decided to go. I jokingly said, let's go in steerage. Let's just go with the little people. We'll stay out there. We won't be in the yacht club.
The first time we went Bella, even we were totally,
because it was so late. Yeah,
we just second time we did go Fantasticus. We got to pick a room, but
so we broke our own rule. We said, oh, we'll never go guarantee, but it was just so late. That was all that was available. I was like, well, let's just take a roll of the dice, and we got lucky. We got a good room. But I hate that. Oh, I do not like not knowing where my room is going to be. I really want to know where that room is going to be. So, wow, it's almost 12 already, Eastern time. Man, time flies. And we are so jam-packed right now. I literally have 6 calls today. So if you want to get in your last question, please do. We're going to have to wrap this up shortly because I've got a call in 1 hour. And I've got 6 calls today. Wow, y'all are just simply amazing. Where I hugged the coffee machine. Yes, Explorer Journey. The video you're watching on TikTok. It's on TikTok. The video is here. I think I even posted it on YouTube. I hugged the coffee machine. They had to pry me out. Me out. It's like I was holding on going, no. But yeah. Boomer Cruiser, we're close enough to cruise day for me to ask if you need us to bring anything. I know luggage is tight. No, we're good. We're absolutely good. We're bringing a lot of stuff. I mean, we've got one of the things I really love about this Valentine's cruise is Alyssa and Rebecca have really leaned into the goodie bag. Oh my God, the goodie bag is going to be so cute. do not miss the check-in. Well, don't miss the check-in because you got to get your wristband or else you're not going to be able to participate in all the stuff on the Islander. But two, this goodie bag is so friggin' adorable that they put together.
Yeah, and unfortunately, just because of things being more compactly together, unassembled, we're going to have to get on the ship as early as possible and assemble things. So
yes, my amazing rep at Margaritaville, Joanne, we're literally going to get on like the moment the ship is available. She's going to personally walk us onto the ship so we can start setting up the goodie bags. If you're in the, if you're watching this and you're in our Valentine's group, you need to come to the Havana Daydreaming starting at 12:30 p. That's on deck three forward, just before you get to the Stars on the Water Theater. That's where Alyssa and I are going to be, along with Rebecca and maybe some other folks. We're going to be handing out and we will have a checklist. So don't think you can just show up and get a bag. We will have a checklist so we know who's supposed to get one. Yeah, definitely. If anybody wants to help out, but I think we're pretty good in terms of in terms of having people. We're gonna have tables. I think we're gonna have like 6 of us all there. So we're very excited. We're just really excited about this. So the next time we all talk together is gonna be right before the cruise. It's gonna be really, really fun. But yeah, we're just so thankful to y'all. We had an amazing year last year. We almost doubled our sales from our first year to our second. We've only been doing this 2 years, and we almost doubled our sales from the first year to the second year. And you guys are just freaking amazing. And then this month, the past month was insane. So thank you. And thank you to Tony and Jenny. Thank you to Stephanie. Thank you to Peter over on Cruise RX for all of your support. You guys have been just simply amazing. But yeah, you can't wait. I can't wait either, Boomer. It's going to be amazing. Oh, Jennifer had a good experience with Bella on MSC. Oh, so, Bella on MSC. So MSC Cruises, when you go to look at their website, you're going to see Bella, Fantastica, and Aurea. Bella is their fancy term for guarantee. If you book a Bella stateroom, you're booking a guarantee.
Which is also, you cannot pick a dining time.
No. If you book Fantastica, that means you get to select your own stateroom. That's basically what that is. Aurea is spa. That's a spa cabin. And, oh my gosh, you can book a spa cabin with a whirlpool right on your balcony, and it's cheaper than a junior suite on Royal Caribbean. That I know, pretty much on every cruise. So you can have a spa. So you get spa privileges, you get discounts on spa services, and there are certain staterooms that have a whirlpool out on the balcony. It's so awesome. So yeah, so if you're confused when you're looking at MSC, Bella Guarantee, Fantastica, I get to pick my stateroom, and Aurea Spa. Yeah, it's really, really good. So, hey, have a good week, Alex. You too. You love the video. Thanks. Princess or celebrity, your overall choice? Both. Honestly, that's my honest choice. Both, except the one celebrity gets a slight edge for that solarium pool.
And Princess gets a slight edge for its package.
Yes. Oh, well, Princess.
Well, big edge, actually. For
yeah, if you're talking value, Princess every single time, because the Princess Plus and Princess Premier so much better. What celebrity considers all included, like that's the name of the package, all included, it's Wi-Fi and drinks. That's it. Whereas Princess Plus has 8 things in it, which includes your gratuities, your drinks, your Wi-Fi, 2 specialty, 2 casual meals, 2 premium desserts every single day, 2 exercise classes, free Ocean Now delivery, free room service delivery, and you get your medallion shipped for free. That's a package. That's an actual include. So if you're talking value, Princess every single time. If you're talking ships and onboard experience, slight edge to celebrity for that solarium pool, bigger edge to Princess for that Princess Plus. I think the service on both ships is absolutely amazing. The coffee on both ships is absolutely amazing. Both have good specialty dining.
The coffee in...
No, I'm talking about specialty dining. Okay. Yeah, specialty coffee. So it's a shame most cruises don't visit Scotland. The Highlands are a good sight to see. There's a lot of cruises that visit Scotland.
Yeah. And man, if you look at Azamara, they have a Scotland intensive cruise.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So you're not looking at the right cruise lines if you're saying most cruises don't visit Scotland. Keep in mind, Scotland is small, so they need to have small ships to go in there. And maybe certain cruise lines just aren't going to go there because we can't take enough people. Oh, yeah. If you want to go to Scotland, I can send you to Scotland for the entire season,
and
all day long.
Not just the Glasgow and Edinburgh stops, which I realize aren't actually Glasgow and Edinburgh. They're a little bit away from that. But I've seen ones that go into Lerwick. I've seen ones that go into, some of the islands up in northern part of Scotland. So that's
part of working with a travel agent like ourselves. I mean, we do this research all the time. So we've got clients who are asking about Ireland, Scotland. So we already know. So when you come to us, like, oh yeah, these 10 cruise lines are all going to Scotland. Let's go look and see what they got. So yeah, there's a ton of cruises going to Scotland. And then if you really want to go all out, you tack on either some days on your own in Scotland, or we go ahead and package one of our tours in there as well. You can spend 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 12 days, 14 days in Scotland beyond just the ship. So there are some clients that come to us and the cruise actually isn't what they need. They need to go on one of those tours. So if you really want to see Scotland, do a 14, 17 day, tour around Scotland. Those are amazing.
I will say that certainly the cruise that I've seen with the most Scotland is the Azamara. Scotland Intensive.
Azamara, hands down, has some of the best itineraries on the planet right now. They have very, very small ships, only 30,000, 32,000 gross tons, and they take real advantage of that to say, we're going to go places that nobody else is going, and we're going to stay overnight, and we're going to stay longer. So there are trade-offs with Azamara, but if you are really serious about, I want to go to certain places and I want to spend time there, Azamara has itineraries that are absolutely stonking impressive. Explora, I think, is heading that way. They only have 2 ships right now. They need more ships, but I think Explora is going to start heading that way. But if you are a
destination
focused, you're a wanderer, you want to really experience culture, Azamara should be on your radar. You should be looking at Azamara all day long. But there are a bunch that go there. So, all right, guys. So it's the top of the hour. I literally have a call in 1 hour, so I'm going to have to go. Thank you so much for tuning in this Thursday night. I can't remember if I have a guest or if it's just going to be me this Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern time on YouTube only, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. Usually I try to have a travel partner come on. I can't remember if I have one this week or not, but certainly I'll be there Thursday night, 8 p.m. on YouTube. Rebecca might be there too. So everybody who's coming on the Margaritaville cruise, we got one more Sunday before we're going to see all you guys. So thank you so much for your support. I'm going to remind you, we're Where's Walter Travel, independent travel agent. We book cruises, land, luxury, expedition, all over the world. People ask me all the time, do you work with this cruise line? The answer is probably yes. We work with about 50 different cruise lines, river and ocean and expedition. So thank you so much for your support. Have an amazing Sunday wherever you are in this amazing world. And I'll see you guys either Thursday night, 8 o'clock Eastern time on YouTube, or we'll be right back here next Sunday at 10:30 in the morning Eastern time. Have an awesome day, everybody.